Hi everyone.
What's up, y'all? How's it, guys?
Hola, Wafit.
Hi, guys.
Hello, hi. Sanbona, guys.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome to the Power Space.
Welcome to the pause.
Welcome to the Power Space.
Hi everyone. Hi everyone.
Welcome to the Power Space.
Hi everyone, this is Nege Komuto Mugalani, first blind comedian in South Africa. We're back again at YMCA Power Space podcast. I'm not alone. I'm with my friend here, Untere. How are you, my brother?
I'm okay. What's,
Okay, my brother.
what's up, everyone? It's Utireze, Tyro Manama, but here they call me Foka. And welcome back to the Power Space Podcast, Season 3, Episode 1. And we are starting it off on a good note this year.
Yeah.
We are starting it off international.
International, my brother. What a wow.
So I would like to introduce
Special guest, Mr. Tom Bender. How are you, Mr. Tom?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
You're fine, man. You're fine. Can you quickly tell us who is Tom Bender?
Yeah, sure. Tom Bender here. I've worked for the YMCA for 18 years. I'm a father of two. I have a 11-year-old boy about to be 12, a 7-year-old daughter. I've been married now for 15 years. Coming up in August, it'll be 15 years. So just someone who loves sports, love working with youth, love being a part of the YMCA for over 18 years now. So that's a little bit about me.
Yes. Oh, nice to hear that. I think everyone knows you better starting from now on. And then, what kind of a child were you were when you grew up, when you were still young?
Yeah. What was my childhood like?
I think that was the gist of it.
Yeah. It was an interesting childhood. My father worked on semi-truck trailers. He had his own business at the time when I was real young, so I got to go over there and see him at certain times. And then in middle school, he kind of lost that business, and he hadn't finished his high school education at the time. So we went from being okay financially to not being okay. So that part was challenging as a kid when you see other kids that have things and then you don't have things. I always felt loved. I always felt, supported, kind of in my journey and kind of what I wanted to do. So that part of childhood was awesome. And I lived at the time too, before cell phones and before all that. So we just played outside all day. We rode our bikes all over, played sports, just very, very active childhood. I was born in 78, so growing up mainly in, the 80s and the early 90s. We didn't have a lot of that technology to distract us for that. But so I would say the challenges came in school, definitely. Sports, for the most part. Definitely had challenges in my schoolwork. I struggled to read. I struggled to especially read in front of people. Just kind of struggled throughout school. But sports gave me a safe, like where I belonged and where I had a sense of purpose. So really appreciated that journey for that. And like I said, school was just always a little bit of a challenge. I enjoyed the social aspect of school and trying to talk to girls and playing sports there, but the academic part was always a little bit of a challenge.
How did you deal with being rejected? How was your first heartbreak?
It wasn't great.
Yes.
For that. So I think around middle school, so for us, 7th grade, probably around what's that, about 12, 13. You accept it and deal with I think sports kept me so focused though. I never really ventured too far of like where it affected me, probably like some kids, because of the tunnel vision on just training and playing sports. So it probably wasn't as bad as most now that I really think back to it, because it was just like, when's my next game or when's my next practice or how can I just go get better? Um, so having that sports focus, I think, allowed me to get through a lot of challenges because you had forward to, you had mentorship, you had instant friends and a lot of things that gave you a lot of joy, I think. So even with heartbreak, you can get over it quick if you got a game next Tuesday or, you're
You
on
don't
to
have
that
time.
next
You
sporting
don't have
event.
time
So
to nurse a broken heart.
yeah, there you
You
go.
get to the
Yeah.
next game. And then Tom, I'd like you to like briefly highlight some of the like biggest challenges that you've had growing up. The last time we talked, you talked about this other story where you were talking about you being here by chance and everything else. Can you please elaborate on that?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So I had some interesting things. One happened before I was born. I guess I can start with that one of, I guess just looking back, knowing is to be here. My mother was pregnant prior to me arriving, and she got rear-ended in a car accident by the mailman of all people. It was icy out where I live. There's snow and ice half of the year. So she was around 6 months pregnant, and then lost that baby, and then got pregnant with me like 2 months after. So doing the math, if that car accident doesn't happen, and
You wouldn't be
my
here.
mom, yeah, so that one was interesting, just knowing that about my initial start. And then the other one I told you about last time was I was 4 years old and my cousin was 5, and I got ran over by a tractor. Probably should have killed me. I had tire marks on my head. My ribs were very badly like bruised and damaged. I had to get put what they call the body cast, where one leg is fully casted, the half of the other leg is casted. For that, I spent about a month in the hospital. Not a fun summer. It was going the summer too, where it's nice out here and you just want to be a kid and play. And just able to get around that whole summer. Those things that they use to go underneath a car, that you go check the oil, that you scoot underneath. That's what I scooted around on all summer that year. So traumatic experience. My 5-year-old cousin rode over me. It was an accident. He felt awful. But again, in 1982, when this happened, it was a different world. Like kids experimented more, just had more freedom. And not saying it was right, because obviously that could have ended real bad. It actually had a lawnmower deck on it, so luckily that wasn't on. Otherwise, I would have definitely got chopped into pieces. So it was a tractor that was made into a lawnmower, cover more ground, that my grandfather had, and definitely one of those things that happened. You don't remember much from those early years, but I'll never forget that hospital drive in because they didn't even call the ambulance, which they should have. My parents drove me in, and every turn hurt. I'll
I
remember
can
that,
imagine.
for the rest of my life. Yeah.
So, with that, I'd like us to move on to another challenge that is more of a maybe deeper thought. I'd like us to talk about uh, your mic is off, Tom. Okay.
I was talking to my daughter. Sorry, she
Okay.
had.
Okay. Yeah. I'd like us. It's okay. It's okay. They're on holiday. They're on holiday.
Yeah, yeah. They get
Yeah.
the whole week off for spring break. Sorry.
That
I
that.
instructed them to give me space and stay away, and I heard some noise coming from
Uh,
both. So
when
sorry.
has when has a child ever listened? Even you, I'm pretty sure you growing up, you they would tell you to do one thing and you do the other.
You want to come say hi?
It's always like that. It's
Come
always
on. This is my daughter here. She can come
Oh,
say hi. This is Anais, is her
hi.
name.
how are you?
He's not saying
All right.
anything.
She's usually very talkative, but not this morning. So I'm sorry I cut you off with your question. What question did you have?
Uh, I was asking if we could talk about dyslexia and for for like our most of our audience, if not all of our audiences from South Africa. And then I feel like they do not have like a good grasp of certain learning disabilities. I think they are just they just know the most common ones that are more physically pronounced, like your blindness and your
Change,
physical challenges.
have,
Mhm.
etc.
So would like you to explain what the dyslexia is and briefly touch on, maybe I don't know what you should touch on.
Just explain further about dyslexia.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll share what about it and kind of journey with it. As I shared with you guys on our last call in the '80s when I was coming up, in early '90s, and that wasn't something that they tested for here in the U.S. probably anywhere. It was more like you were all like special education all the way, or you were in regular classes. So I was in regular classes, kind of struggling through, not knowing why I was so nervous to read in public, or why I struggled to read. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
even all through high school, I probably didn't read one book. I never read because it just didn't go well for me. In college, I was forced not to study, and I had to get special tutoring. They called it the Learning Center. I had a professor in me how I slipped through the cracks, which was hard to take I was about 19, probably 20 at that time. Kind of an insult. I slipped through the cracks, but so what I found out, my version of dyslexia, like when I see a word, I don't read it all the way through from normal left or how most people would read and comprehend and understand what they're trying to read. For whatever reason, I had a mentor who had this and kind of broke it down for me. And when he told me about it during life, I said, "Wow, that's what I've been dealing with my whole life." It kind of made sense. It gave me a sense of, I don't know, relief, I guess you could say, of like what was
At least
going
you know
on.
what is wrong with you.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I know it's harder for me than everyone else. Like it takes me, like, when they give you like, all right, we'll give you 30 minutes to read this. It takes me 50 minutes. It's going to take me double the time, and like just because of my comprehensive and my reading, but again, because it wasn't tested. So I see the front of the word, and then for whatever reason, my mind goes to the back of the word, and it kind of guesses what's in the middle. I have no idea why it's this way. I mean, it could be like I'll struggle to spell February, which is a very
Mhm.
easy word, the month February, and for whatever reason, because my mind doesn't ever see the middle of the word, I'll struggle with what's in there. It kind of guesses. It becomes funny in my certain points if we're playing certain games at home that require that have the wrong word going, and I'm acting out a skit in charades or something, and they're like, there was one
I
with
can
my kids
imagine.
recently. I'm trying to remember what the word was, but
Mm.
they just shake their head and they're like, yeah, Dad can't read very well, but hey,
We still love him.
I feel like yeah. I don't know. You got to be able to laugh at yourself. I mean, I'm one that can't laugh at yourself. Like it is what it is. God made me unique in a lot of ways, and that way was unique to be challenging. But we're all meant to have challenges as well. It's not all going to be come easy like sports maybe did for me. I mean, there's going to be stuff that doesn't come easy that you have to work harder at. That you're going to be challenged. That initially when you're in, I don't know, let's say second grade, and you're got to read in front of the class, and you're just,
Aish.
I mean, deadly afraid of like people laughing at you at that point. You're not secure like you get later in life, where you're just like, hey, this is me. This is who I am. This is, take it or leave it, love it or don't. I don't care. Second grade, you're like devastated if people start laughing at you because you're struggling to read and you don't know what's going on with you. So it made school way harder all the way even through college, because I never officially got diagnosed. It was a mentor of mine who broke it down, and it all just clicked of like, wow, I've been dealing with that my whole life. And once he showed me different words of how do you see this word, I was like, oh, yep, that's exactly what goes on with me. So it was great to find out finally as an adult, and kind of accept it and kind of know it and kind of again laugh at it at certain times. It's okay. And I wish I could remember. It was recently too. We were playing a game and they were dying laughing, my family. And I think I told you the one was stupid. It was or maybe I didn't, but I was playing a game with some friends and it was a mosquito and I thought it was a mesquite.
What is a
A
mesquite?
mesquite.
What's the mistake?
It's so there's a sandwich that I used to eat all the time called mesquite chicken. I don't even know honestly if that was the name, and I was like totally like drawing the wrong thing and acting it out, and they're like, "It's mosquito." I'm like, "Oh, I thought it was mesquite." I don't know because
You just saw the
way
M and the S and the maybe I
it
don't know.
blends it together, yeah, and it
Yeah,
merges it, and
somehow.
I don't know. So yeah, that's definitely something I wish, in 19, probably when I start reading in 80, I would have started like 83 probably if they could have said, hey, but it just wasn't the times. I hope they do now. Luckily my kids haven't, from what I know, they excel in school way better than I have. They got my wife's smarts, with that kind of stuff for that. So, um, luckily they haven't had that journey, but I gotta imagine schools here and hopefully everywhere are way better at finding these things out. I know they test. My kids go through so many tests that they have to go, so maybe they're able to find it through that. I just know at my time it wasn't. You were a kid who had severe mental challenges and learning disabilities, and you were put in our special education program, which to be honest, as a youth, you're going to be made fun of. You didn't want to be in those classes. You wanted to be in the regular general population classes. So I hope now they have something more in the middle. I'm not even 100% sure. We work in schools and that, but we just pretty much run our sports program in there, and I have my kids in school. So I don't know, but I got to imagine that all these years later, because I'm 47 in May. This is 43 years ago, that things have improved, hopefully, that a kid like me who's had some challenges, that they can
You should
discover
see
it and
him.
figure
He
out
looks at least 30.
how to help
He
it.
doesn't look 40.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll take it. Hopefully it keeps going.
Yeah.
So, but Tom, remember I told you that I'm a blind person, and I got it difficult after being blind at the age of 12 years. I know the pain and the situation is not easy to accept up until it comes the time whereby your family just accept, and it also pushes you as a human being just to accept and live the normal life. So about you, how did you accept and came across this whole situation? Because I guess it was very much difficult, and even your family to accept the situation you are.
Yeah, I don't know that until I knew what was going on that I was able to accept it. For probably 30 years of my life. It might have been end of my 20s, somewhere in there. I didn't know what was going on, so I don't think
Life
I
changes.
just I just thought I was stupid, honestly. Like in a lot of ways, I'm not as smart as everyone else, like I have other smarts, whether you call them street smarts or I was like, I have other abilities, but I'm just not smart. So I think having that mentor of mine who kind of broke it down for me and knew, it helped me feel like, okay, I'm not stupid, I just have a challenge that other people may not have to deal with. So I definitely feel like I was able to accept it at that point. But before that, I think I just always felt dumb and stupid, and I wish I wouldn't have. As a child, you want to feel confident, not just when you're on a court with a ball in your hand, but that was the only time I felt
But you know
100%
you know
confident.
that saying that where parents usually say this, that you can be whatever that you put your mind to. So as kids, we tend to believe in that, and we tend to like internalize it. So I can just imagine you and knowing that you can be whatever that you want to be, but here's this big challenge that you're facing. It must have been like pretty tough to go towards. Uh, I want us to shift a little bit and talk about you and the why. The why. How was the relationship with you and the why? You talked about your mentor. Uh, can you please explain on that and how the why impacted your early life, maybe up until now?
Yeah, definitely. So I'll go to childhood. So when my father lost his business, I was in middle school. So we went from being financially okay to not okay, like overnight. And luckily, the YMCA gave me a safe place to go. They gave me a scholarship, basically a free membership. I think my parents had to pay $5 for the whole year, which is, basically free. So it gave me a place to play hoops, to lift weights. My grandfather actually lived at that YMCA for a little time because my grandparents split, and that changed a lot of family dynamics. But it was a great place to be. I just felt in where I grew up, and in a lot of, I guess you call it, inner cities where there's crime, and people that you grew up with get into crime and get into things. Anything that can take you away from that, and you can have a safe place to go and be positive, where you're just lifting weights and playing some hoops. So I think the YMCA always held a special place to me just from that start. So then, as I had to figure out a career, I had moved back from California in 2006, and I had been working in the fitness industry in the for-profit side of it since '04. So in 2007, I had met our now CEO, Parrish Underwood. I was playing some hoops at one of our Metro Detroit YMCA's, and I told him I needed a job, and he thought I was joking. And he found out I was serious when I pulled out my resume, and he got me in front of the right people, and I consider him a mentor as well. And then I was in membership sales for many years, operations, and then my job got eliminated in 2019, where I was regional director of membership development. I had worked at about 3-4 different Ys by that point, and had a regional role where I worked over 10 YMCA's, but due to budget cuts, my job was eliminated. So I left the YMCA for 3 months, took a different job at a for-profit place called Lifetime Fitness. And then the Y called me back to oversee this grant-funded sports program that I'm able to see now. So I don't know. I've always felt like the Y is a place that cares about you. Like, I've had some of the best bosses ever that I could tell they actually loved me and cared about my well-being, which I think just always meant something to me, because you see the for-profit world where, I just think you're just a number. Like, they don't care if you die tomorrow, they'll just replace you with someone else, type of thing.
Within the hour.
Yeah. So I didn't always feel that same love and like that I had from the other mentor who helped me with the dyslexia part. His name was Bart. I just think he took a real liking to me for whatever reason. He helped me through marriage problems, stuff that in the other room. They just always seemed to care about me on a deeper level in the other room. So.
And then do you have something to say? Yeah. And then what is, I hear you talking about sports and it having like a huge impact in your career and personal life. What currently are you doing at the Y? And then is it sports related? What are you doing there?
And if
Yeah,
it's
it is sport.
And if it's sport related, can you please tell us the one that you like the most?
Yeah, for sure. My favorite sport, I'll start with that, is basketball. I was able to play a couple of years in college um, here in the U.S. at a small school. I definitely love football. I enjoy baseball, track and field, but basketball has always been my passion.
Which football? The one with the feet or the one
Football.
Oh,
that's
sorry.
like rugby?
American
Football.
American
American American
American
football.
football. Yeah, I never got
Oh,
big into soccer. My daughter plays what we
Yeah,
call, soccer. So we didn't have it where I grew up. It just
yeah.
wasn't a thing that they even offered. It now in my area where I grew up, they do offer it, but back when I came up, it was American football or nothing. Like it wasn't at my high school and those type of things. So I oversee now a grant funded sports program. Um, and I know your boss lady was able to come out and see us in action at one of our programs at one of our schools. So that was awesome. But so we take sports into communities that are under resourced. We have vans loaded with sports equipment, and these are areas that don't have YMCA's. They could be areas that rural areas or areas right, in the city of Detroit that don't no longer have a YMCA. So we're able to reach kids that don't offer all the same programs, to bring the programs to them, take away the barrier of travel that you have to get there. So we expose them to the traditional sports I just spoke of. We try to show them sports that maybe they haven't heard of yet, of like lacrosse, or we'll play floor hockey. We'll do recess games, kind of bring gym class on the road, so to speak, as well. Definitely soccer or football, as you call it, we introduce them to, but we want to be a spark that kind of lights, gets them more active, and they say, well, I didn't know about this sport, or I didn't know much about this sport. Now I want to continue to play it at home, or play it with siblings, or play it in my neighborhood, or just when we're out. But to be more active, get them off of all the devices, and hopefully maybe they'll want to go, play it in a league, or find out more about it. So if we could be the spark to kind of light that interest in them, and that they can take it further.
I think that's a very impactful thing, because I think activeness across the world with young people is becoming like a serious problem, because we tend to just be slaves to our own devices at the end of the day. Instead of me literally going outside and going to kick a soccer ball, I'd rather load up a game on the Xbox, or something, or just run around and do something else. So I think that's a very good initiative. I think you guys are doing like some pretty dope stuff. And I, I I'm intrigued. Can we get a little bit, like, tell me, like, I know very few married people. How is it like being married? Be honest.
and the challenges, that's a feeling.
um, Being married is challenging. It's definitely hard work. I mean, it's ups and downs. I think I even mentioned earlier, I had a mentor, the same one who helped me with my dyslexia challenge, talked me off the ledge at one point of like, I don't want to do this anymore. Just because it was that challenging at the time, and we were not seeing eye to eye and some things. But we'll be 15 years in August. We've known each other since it's been 26 years that we've met in college. I think I mentioned last time, I think growing up two totally different ways. Like I was raised in a way to like go figure it out, go just explore. She was raised more, I think, with more rules and more like, stay in the house, be safe. People are out, that could do harm to you. Like,
Always,
so
you're
it's
always on
been,
edge.
yeah, yeah. We were just raised two different ways, and that so I think parenting, it's come up where we've definitely figured out the years, I think, compromising, meeting in the middle, which I think initially you want to be right all the time, and you want to put your foot in the ground, and as you grow older and experience, it's like, okay, it's not about being right, it's about each of us got to give a little bit. The other one always thinks they give more. And there's that, but it's definitely rewarding. It's there's amazing moments, but it's definitely a roller coaster of ups and
Fluctuations.
downs. And yeah, you
Mhm.
always have the financial challenges that are going to come, and those can uh, put a strain on the relationship. Um, so you have a lot of challenges that you got to work through. I think hopefully we're through a lot of the worst of it. I think the first 5 years or so, when you're really still figuring things out, maybe even figuring out who you are and that, and you want to. I just remember wanting to be right every time, and once I gave up that, I think that was a breakthrough for me. It's like I'm too competitive. I don't know, and we're both stubborn people, so I think that definitely helped us grow and get past some of the just silly arguments or stuff that really shouldn't matter.
And I think you spoke a whole lot about a whole lot of different types of challenges that you faced growing up, and even in your more older years. I'd like So I'm interested in what has constantly kept you going as a person, and what has like given you your why in terms of trying to live further and try to aspire to become a better person.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely think faith, number one, my mom and definitely instilled God and faith and having a purpose, and the way she led her life was an amazing example, for that. So I give a lot of credit to my mom, and I mean, even when we had nothing, we didn't even know any better, one, and she just set such a great example for we're here for a bigger purpose. So I think when that's instilled in you, you always feel that. Again, the things that happened to me early in life that I shared with you of not even supposed to be here, like, well, you're probably supposed to be here then. You better make the best of it. I think what keeps me going now is these little people.
Yeah.
One here, the other one, I think they're going to they give you a huge sense of purpose and why you keep going even on days you're like, man, this day sucks and nothing's going right today, and the sky seems gloom and doom as much as it can be, and finances are bad and things aren't going great. You just say you get through today and you get through the week, and I always know things are going to turn around. So as bad as moments as I've had, and I've had some really bad ones, it always comes out and you have great ones. So I think when you get to a point in life, that no matter what. But I think definitely being a dad and that is gives you a lot of purpose. And even when you feel like life sucks, and you're gonna have those moments for sure.
Yeah. Is there something you want to say?
No, no, no.
Okay, I think we have reached like almost the end. I am going to ask you like one last question, like one question, and I want you to think about it really, really, really carefully. It's going to take a little bit of a morbid turn, but yeah. Uh, After all is said and done, and you are not here anymore, what type of a mark do you want to leave here?
Yeah, I mean, I've thought about that one already, for that. So I don't know. So this doesn't really answer your question, but this might say the type of person I am. I definitely don't want a funeral. So like I've told my wife that, like, get a DJ, get somebody on the grill, tell some funny stories about, because I like to be goofy too.
Yeah,
Um, so I mean, I hope people have a bunch of just funny stories, but I don't want a sad like thing. I want people to just talk about, the good times and all that. So,
yeah,
um, but the mark I want to have, I mean, I consider myself like a basketball coach or just a coach in general, whether
mhm,
even just coaching
Yes.
people with me at the YMCA, like underneath me, and giving all my experiences to them, like a lot of the hard stuff that I was able to go through that I can hopefully prevent you from going through or help give you some guidance as you're going through it. Um, I just feel like that's what God had me go through all these challenging things so I can coach others. I definitely think just coaching sports is the thing where I think I've maybe had the biggest impact, and when I'm gone, that maybe former players and those, or maybe those that work for me as well, and just say the impact, because I just pride myself on being a genuine, real, transparent, just honest, upfront, open book person, and um, try to pour into people with that and my experiences, whether on the court or off the court, and mentorship, because of all the mentors that I've had that have really poured into me and given back. You feel an obligation to do that back for other people. So I hope when it's all said and done that I can say I just had a positive impact, and I was a genuine, real, honest, upfront, just straight shooter, and just was always there for them if they needed, to talk or get through something challenging, and made them a better player on and off the court, made them a better employee, or maybe like someone helped me through my marriage, I was able to help them through a tough time in theirs, just for that. So I think that's the main thing. I don't have huge aspirations of like with some people of like, I don't know, they want to be just recognized and seen as this amazing, like I won all these awards, and like I feel weird when I get recognition for some of it, or that. So I don't strive for that kind of stuff. I strive more that when it's all said and done, people are like, he was a good dude and gave back a lot and poured into a lot of youth and coached a lot of kids and made a difference. I would say is what I hope my legacy would be, and hopefully my own kids, feel that way as well. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got or before that, I've learned a lot, Tom, from you, and I never knew about dyslexia before, but now at least I know better about it. And then just want to ask you two questions, and then you will only choose one from those questions. Ne? Um, Soccer, cricket, and rugby. Which
it
one
was
do you like?
soccer. You
You
said
choose only one.
soccer, rugby, and which one? Soccer, rugby, and what? Or just soccer and
Cricket.
rugby?
Are you familiar with cricket?
Cricket.
Cricket. Oh, I
Yeah.
don't understand it at all. People do play it in my the area I'm at, on our baseball fields. I
The
don't
same way
understand
you
it at
feel about
all.
cricket is the same way we feel about football. We don't get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, I mean, if I had to pick between those three, I would choose soccer. So, because my daughter plays it and my son played it as well, and I really enjoy watching them play soccer. So, I didn't grow up playing it. So any sport I didn't grow up playing, I struggle to connect to it on a higher level of like, I don't understand. I mean, to me, soccer and basketball have similarities from watching enough of my kids of spacing and passing and working together and trying to get a ball in a goal, or that. So I see the similarity there. But I did play 1 year of soccer. Now looking back in eighth grade, I was faster than most kids in my school. So they
What
thought I
position
would
were
be.
you playing?
I think they put me on defense. I don't even know all, but they thought I was going to be good because I was fast and I was a track kid, and um they put me out there and I was not. Like a kid kicked a goal through my legs. I guess they call it a nutmeg here, where if you get a goal scored through your legs, or the kid went right, and
Yeah.
my toes were freezing cold. It was the morning, and I go like, I got to kick this ball, and my toes are free. I don't want to be here. And I was doing American football the same day, so I'd have two practices. I'd go
Yeah.
from one to the other. But my track coach was like, "This, you're going to be good," and I wasn't. And anything you're not good at, like it's fun either. Like I
Yeah.
want to do stuff that I'm good at. Maybe if I dedicated time, but I never took the passion for it. But I do love to watch my daughter play it. She flies all over the field and gives it her all. And people come up to her after the games and say, "Wow, that was awesome! Just how hard you tried." And she'll get knocked down 4 or 5 times, get right back up. So I enjoy watching her play it. I'll get into like if US is in the World Cup, deep, and so I'll try to tune in a little bit, but I never had a full connection with it, like sports I grew up playing, I guess. But cricket, I would never watch. I have no idea. And then my roommate all through college played rugby. That was another sport they tried to get me to play because of my speed. Everybody just thinks if you're fast, you're going to be good at. But I wasn't tough enough for that. Like I need the helmet and the pads. I went to a couple matches and I was like, this is not for me. You guys are way tougher than me. Like the physicality.
Those are some tough guys.
Yeah.
Well,
even the girls. I saw his girlfriend at the time played, and the girls might have been tougher than the guys. Like I was like, no, this is not for me. I need a helmet and shoulder pads and all this protection if I'm getting hit. So yeah, I would go with soccer out of those 3 for sure. I guess rugby second, and cricket, I have no idea what's going on.
Okay. So the top one now and the last one: George Bush, Barack Obama, Donald Trump.
I'm Obama all day. I mean, we were super excited. I'm not into politics, like I've never been into politics. A lot of it feels slimy and just untrue. Like everything I don't stand for. Like, let's not tell you the truth. Let's lie to you. Let's mislead you. First, I've prided myself, and I think my parents raised me that, like, just be upfront, no matter what it is. Just be honest and be upfront. Some people won't like it, but we were super excited when Obama was in. I just could relate to him. He listened to hip hop like I did. He played hoops. Like I felt like I could go hang out with Obama. We've never had any other president I probably could say that of, like, I could go chill and hang out and have dinner and relate to. So not into politics, but Obama was my guy. He just seemed like a good dude from what you could tell. But I had a buddy who was in the
Obama had
Secret
something
Service.
we call swag.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We're not feeling what's going on right now in our country and our leadership.
It's a mess over there.
It is. I don't think most people aren't, I don't think, excited about it. Maybe some are. You find out some interesting thing that people that your kids play sports with, that they do support this administration, which is kind of shocking. And then you got to figure out, how do I feel about that now that I know that? What does that say about you? I try to disconnect them and just give people the benefit of the doubt and try to find out what type of person they truly are, not just, okay, you like this individual. But it's definitely an interesting time, very decisive time. People are kind of picking sides and that whole thing. So hopefully we get through it, and hopefully some good happens.
Hopefully in one piece.
Yeah, hopefully some good can happen. I don't know, but yeah, not a fan of what's currently going on.
Already, us as South Africans, we're going through it since he cut off most of the financial aid. It's just a mess. I think we're just gonna go even deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole. I hope someone intervenes in time so that the relationships can go back to normal as they were, and we just get into a better place, because we're all human at the end of the day. And I think we are human before we are patriots of a country. So I think we should try to lean more towards that type of thinking than anything else. I think we lapsed the time. We are in 45 minutes. So, Mr. Top, we'd like to thank you for your time. I'm thinking we took your time from spending with your kids. We'd like to release you.
No, you're good.
Or was this like a nice excuse for you to like relax a little bit and just unwind? You understand?
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for the
Well, yeah,
opportunity.
thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It was great to get to know you guys and just talk. And you guys did a great job with this and asked some great questions. So hopefully somebody can benefit from the story. And if I can benefit in any other way moving forward, please feel free. Don't hesitate to ever reach out. If I can help in any way, I'd be happy to.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tom. One last thing, can you please do a thumbs up for us? Is for the thumbnail. Just do a quick
Thumbs
thumbs
up, yeah.
up.
Thumbs up, thumbs up.
Yeah. Thank you very
Thanks, Mr.
much.
Tom.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Yeah,
Tom.
you're welcome. All right,
Yeah.
we'll talk to you guys later.
Guys, thank you very much for watching the episode. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. From me, Tyro, and
Thanks a lot, guys. As Fuga said,
yeah,
subscribe, my brother.
like, comment, share, subscribe. Ring the
YMCA,
notification bell.
YMCA Power Space Podcast.
YMCA Power Space Podcast. Signing out.
Nege, nege. Peace out.